Hi, it's Sunday and I'm back in Virginia and I will be back on trail tomorrow. And some of you had asked some questions, so I thought I would answer those questions real quick for you tonight. The first one was, do you hike with others often? And usually I don't hike with others because we all just kind of hike our own pace. But sometimes we'll say where we're going to stay the night, and so we're at the same shelter or the same campground. And sometimes it just works out that we stop at lunch at the same time and just visit for a while. But most of the time by myself. How many people do I see a day? And that depends. Some days I see lots and some days I see just a few. If it's the weekend, there's often day hikers, and now I'm seeing a lot of section hikers. So some days I've seen up to 20, 25 people, and then some days only 3 or 4. So it just varies. It's gonna be interesting to see what the trail looks like when I get back on it tomorrow. The next one is, do you carry bear spray? And no, I do not carry bear spray. When do I expect to finish? I'm hoping to finish by the middle of August. That's kind of been my goal all along, is 5 months. And someone asked if I was using the Far Out app, and yes, I use it a lot. It's super helpful. And I use it in conjunction with the AT guide, which is a book that you can purchase. It's in an app form that you can read, and so I use those together. But for maps, I mainly use the Far Out app, which was previously Gut Hooks. And then another question someone asked about George, and that's the fellow whose picture I hold up occasionally. And near the beginning of the trail, another hiker had picked up his card. George passed away in January, and it had been a lifelong dream of his to through hike the AT. And so his family had put some cards out and pictures of him and asked people to carry George with them along on the journey. So that's what I'm doing. So that's in memory of George, and they have a Facebook page, and I post on that for them so that they can see where we are and what we're up to. And then the last question was comparing the Pacific Crest Trail to the Appalachian Trail, and that's kind of like a really long conversation, but I'll kind of give it to you in brief. The AT is what I call the luxury trail, because there's so many hostels and so many road crossings, so many places to resupply, tons of trail magic, and opportunities for shuttles and things like that, and to get into town. And so even if you can see that bad weather's coming, you can have a chance to get off trail if you would like to. The terrain itself is difficult, but the altitude is not nearly what it is on the Pacific Crest Trail. But it is, the grade is a lot more difficult. So when I think about, so far I would say the AT is easier in that you don't have to worry about long food carries or long water carries because there's no desert section, but it's physically demanding. Whereas the PCT requires a lot of preparation and is mentally demanding as well because of just the long water carries, the long stretches with long food carries, and the high altitude that you have on the PCT. So I'm enjoying the AT. It's a very different experience, and I'm soaking it all in. So happy to be back and be back on trail tomorrow.